Good evening, everyone. This is my final module for EDL 851, Good Teacher Gone Bad. So problem identification and data analysis. What is the problem? So the problem is Mrs. Horton's attitude has changed for the worse. Some things we know is that Miss Horton was the teacher of the year. The principal did notice she was stressed. Parents have complained to the principal about her having outbursts in class and being rude to the students. Parents have complained also to the Board of Education. Many parents want their children reassigned, and Mrs. Horton did have an outburst during a parent-teacher conference with the principal present. Some things we need to know is, why did she have the outburst during the parent-teacher conference? What is the root cause of her stress? Is she getting help? And what could I do as the principal to help? Proposed plan of actions. First, I'm going to talk to Mrs. Horton about her actions, the consequences of her actions, her personal situation, if she's willing to open up, maybe see if she wants to get help, and then offer her help. I'm also going to talk to the superintendent. I'm going to let him know about the outburst during the parent-teacher conference. I'm going to let him know that I have spoken with Mrs. Horton, and I'm going to let him know that I'm on top of the situation. Finally, I'm going to document everything that has happened. I'm going to remove Julie from her class, and I'm also going to counsel Mrs. Horton on her behavior and her actions. As a principal, there are some things I want to take from this experience and put a couple of processes in place to try and prevent this from happening in the future. I'm going to offer training for teachers on how to deal with certain stresses in their life, maybe bringing in some professionals to sit down with my teachers and just give them some tips on how to deal with personal stresses at home and not let it affect your workplace. I'm going to reinforce that I do have an open door policy for my entire staff and conduct a professional development on classroom management. Because maybe students are getting out of control and the stresses in her life is making it worse and she's having a hard time handling her kids. So, classroom management, professional development for everybody wouldn't be a bad thing. How am I going to resolve the issues based on promoting the success of all students? I'm going to meet with my staff, let them know, what's going on and that it's not going to be tolerated. Meet with the parents, let them know that I am on top of the situation, that the teacher is being dealt with in a way that is going to be conducive for everybody. I'm going to conduct more walkthroughs of all my classrooms so I can stay on top of the daily. I got to have the pulse of the building at all times, and you can't let situations like this get out of control like it has. And of course, I got to provide a safe learning environment for my students and for my teachers, because teacher outbursts could lead into student violence, and you don't want that to happen in your classrooms. What was I thinking, feeling, and valuing? Well, I was first of all wondering what it was, the sudden change in her behavior, what caused it. Why wasn't it addressed sooner? I mean, I did know that she was stressed out, thinking the summertime was going to give her a break, but it didn't, obviously. So maybe I should have addressed it sooner. And I'm part of the reason why I got out of control. How can she be helped? Can I do something? Can she go get help? And, with a situation like this, does she need to be removed from the school? How am I feeling, though? I feel like she can be helped. I don't think she needs to be fired. She was a teacher of the year. She's got some personal things going on in her life, and I think that she can definitely, I hate to say salvage, but, I don't think she needs to go away. And like I said before, upset that it got this far and that it got this bad. I think it could have been addressed sooner and taken care of sooner. What was I valuing? Mrs. Horton's personal situation. Everybody goes through a personal situation in their life at one time or another. Some people can deal with it better than others as far as keeping away from the workplace. But, when you're dealing with divorce and you have the kids by yourself and you have a stressful job like teaching, it can get the best of you, unfortunately. And that might have been what happened. And you gotta respect that. And like I said, offer help. Mrs. Wilson's professionalism as a principal. Stepping in, talking to parents, talking to the superintendent, talking to the Board of Education, letting them know that she's on top of it, and respecting Mrs. Horton's personal life and helping her out with professional life is a good thing. Superintendent's patience, and the trust that he has in the principal to take care of the situation is important. And the parents' feelings of what was going on. You have to value that, because no parent wants their child to be abused in school, especially by a teacher. Teachers are to provide safe learning environments and protect kids, not to verbally bash them because they're having a bad day. Some unresolved issues that I see. What are the rules and regulations on having a teacher removed from the workplace? What's involved? What administrative requirements are there? Is Mrs. Horton going to get help? What's the district stance on it? Do they have a say in it? Are they going to overrule the principal and maybe say that she needs to go away? Or are they going to stand by the principal and let them, and show the support and say, we understand that you have it, you're going to take care of it, and help the teacher and the students all at the same time? And do I remove the other students from the other parents that were complaining about, Mrs. Horton's behavior? So that's some things you got to look into. Reflect on standard 2, instructional capacity. What did I do to promote the academic success and personal well-being of every student by enhancing instructional capacity? First and foremost, providing a safe learning environment by removing that student that she had the outburst on the parent with right away, because, like he said, I can only imagine what the kids are going through that day. That student needs to be removed. I'm making sure teachers are, conduct themselves professionally at all times. Keep an open line of communication with my staff, and I was absolutely respectful to everyone that was talked to. Promote the personal well-being of every student. Again, providing a safe learning environment for students is first and foremost. Provided resources for help and assistance, not only for the students, but for the teachers too. And demonstrated a well-being, concern and well-being of the students and staff. How do they enhance instructional capacity? Again, safe learning environments at the top of the list. Provide a safe teaching environment and learning environment. Gave an opportunity for all stakeholders to provide input. Resources for the staff, and again, conducting more classroom walkthroughs to make sure that everything is going the way it's supposed to be going. That's it for me. It's been a pleasure. I watched a lot of the videos already. They were fantastic. I had a great time in this class, and I hope everybody did too. And I look forward to working with you all again in the future. Take care.